All right. And he turns to Jude. We could even stay in that shot and almost do like so. If they're in the background here, so Elon's been talking. He turns. He's ruffling through his pack, and then he looks up like over there, and he talks to Jude and stays in that same shot. Do you get what I'm kind of saying?
I think say it one more time.
Basically, so like this shot. So basically, if Cephas and Jude are those computers, I turn away. I'm Iman. I'm rummaging through my pack, find the bread, look up at Jovan or at Jude, who's over this way, and then whatever the line is, what you're about to do it quickly. Cut to the insert of Jude, the single shot of Jude, and then maybe back to this shot, and he can sort of turn to both of them or turn to those two. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think everything's good up until the point where we get to Iman. I think so. Iman addressing them, saying that last line, "Watch and pray so you won't fall into temptation."
Okay.
Do you want that to be just Iman saying that, or do you want to have the disciples in the shot somewhere as well? Because the next shot, either way, is going to be of the disciples. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hang on. Let me. Okay, so the watch and pray so you won't fall into temptation. What if we mirror the very first shot we do, which is Iman walking? I sort of drew it out. So basically we have the three of them on the ground and Iman's walking through, so we only see his knees. So do sort of from that same angle, but we see his back now and we just see the disciples as he says that line.
Or we could even flip the camera and you know how in the beginning we saw him coming out the darkness, and now we flip the camera and he's going that way.
Yeah.
Instead.
Okay. I'm trying to think if that would be jarring or if that would work.
Yeah.
We have a fade away to Jude. I'm leaning towards unsettling, but it might work. We could film it both ways and just use one as a safety. Okay.
Yeah, we can do that. But I think if you think that it might work, but it's a little unsettling, I think that means that it should be good.
Here's what we could do, because this would not be unsettling. If we frame it basically that shot again, but up higher, so we have the back of his head with the disciples there. From that shot, like if he's centered, or not even necessarily centered, but if he's like not angled, but is like it's his flat back, we can then cut to a front shot and then get his face from the front.
Ooh.
So we can do that. But what I like about this back shot is that when he turns to leave, because he can say his line to them, we don't see his face while saying the line, but as he turns, okay, what if we hold that shot? So it's the back of his head while he says, watch and pray so you won't fall into temptation. The spirit is willing. So it's like this, and he turns, and almost like he's still saying to them, but he's like, but the flesh is weak, walks off camera, and then we're left with the three amigos in the background.
That sounds good, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. I dig it. Okay. What are we at? 11. Okay, so that's 11 shots total for that scene. Huzzah!
Huzzah, my friend.
Huzzah. All right, so we have Cephas there, Jovan there, and then that's where we I'm gonna forget what all of this means. And that's where we can have like Cephas's reaction, Jovan kind of going back to sleep, and Jude slipping away in that wide side shot. Sick. All right. Garden scene, if finito.
Good.
Good.
We're cooking with. We turned the stove on and we put the pan on the flame.
Wait, that's a figure of speech. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we cut. Yes, we're getting there. Page 3. All right. So now we are into the temple. Yep. This one.
Jude arrives.
This one can literally be 3 shots, I think.
Yeah. The only thing when I was reading this over is somewhere in the scene, I want extreme close-up of Jude's eyes as he makes his decision to betray. You know, like he's like debating a little bit, right? So it says Jude arrives to the courtyard. He pauses. He sees the guards. He watches them deliberating. He looks over his shoulder and then back to the guards for making his choice. So when he's deliberating whether to make his choice or not,
Mm-hmm.
an extreme close up of the eyes or something, and then like if however we light that scene,
Mm-hmm.
like we see like that whether it's flame, fire, we see that kind of in his eyes a little bit. I don't know how we would do that,
Okay.
but I just like seeing his eyes here.
Yeah. The two shots that I were thinking was basically him entering and then just an insert of the people at the temple and like they yeah, and them doing their thing and then he walks up. So
Well,
basically
because go ahead.
um so yeah, there's two shots that I was thinking. And that is like sort of a medium wide of Jude entering, standing in sort of the doorway, and then we cut to almost like what would be his POV of the guards. But then we hold on that, we intercut between them. We hold on that what would be the POV, and like at the end when he actually goes, we see him like walk into frame and start going. But with yours, with the medium wide, I think we can have that shot, maybe even pop it into like a medium or a close up of him entering, and then or maybe I think a medium, because then we can cut to sort of that extreme close up.
So do you want when this scene,
Mm-hmm.
do you want Jude like he's at the front entrance of the temple, or he's kind of a little bit further away deciding whether even to go inside the temple or not?
I say he's right outside the temple. We see him approach. He stops outside the temple and is deliberating. And that's where the bulk of this scene happens, is like right outside. And then at the very end, we cut to that POV shot of the temple and we see him enter frame.
Okay. Because the way that I was reading it was that he's not at the temple front door just yet, right? Like he's kind of a little bit ways back. He's like it's the temple's in frame and everything, but he's like hiding behind like a rock or a tree or something.
Oh,
whatever's there.
That would be cool.
And then like he sees it, you see the temple in the distance, and then he's like deliberating whether to make his choice. Because I kind of see Jude like kind of schizophrenic here. Like he's hearing voices that we don't hear yet in the film, but like he's deciding, like he's hearing stuff in his head.
Where would we have this being filmed at? Okay. Beautiful, because filming wise, we'll probably film this scene after he does his actual voices in the head, so that'll be fresh on his head, on his mind.
Yeah.
In that case, we don't even need to be for this scene. We don't even need it, because I really like that actually. This would be an awesome opportunity for matte painting for me, to put the temple in the background. But then also, because then we don't need the temple guards even there, or the temple leaders. Cool. Okay. So he enters, is deliberating. I like, then location wise, wherever we shoot this scene theoretically could be the same spot we shoot the isolated path scene, right? Because like Jude's about to go into the temple, and when Iman finally falls and like dies, it's outside the temple. It could be like this same spot maybe, and that could be a cool parallel.
Oh yeah, that could work.
Yeah. So okay, I like that a lot. So we just have to frame. We'd have to figure out a way to frame it. In that case, I really like the close-ups and extreme close-ups for this.
Those eyes.
Because I say we do like a wide, so we can get like the matte paint, and then with the matte paint, you need to get close-ups because you only want to matte paint one or two actual clips.
Yeah. Well, it could be like that wide, and then Jude could walk into frame, and like he could do his actions, like kind of like going about hearing voices and stuff. He walks into frame like that.
Yeah. I don't think he's quite there yet. I feel like he walks in and like sort of hesitates and maybe like indicates Yeah, you got it. Yeah, so honestly, that almost feels like freestyle cinematography wise. you know, like very handheld. Like maybe you just kind of have.
Well, because I know for like your guys' scenes when you guys do like the devil and like with hearing those voices, that I think that's handheld. To be honest, that should be very shaky. That should be very like frantic almost.
I feel like this should be handheld, but not as shaky or frantic. Yeah. In that case, do you want to leave this scene? Because this is the last scene we film on Saturday.
Ooh.
So, I mean, I would like my stable wide shot for my thing. But literally after that, if you and Sean maybe want to like even on set talk through like, hey, let's just maybe run this 2-3 times, and Sean just kind of hand holds it and like feels it out. And each take you're like, hey, get his eyes next time, or like, hey, get his hands, or so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we could leave this scene open ended.
Okay.
So I just need my wide establish. And I like what you were saying about rocks, and then
yeah, like if he hides behind something, or
yes,
and that's what he does is deliberating.
There's some awesome like rocky spots like that.
Cool.
So I'm thinking sort of like this for my wide, where it says matte paint is where the matte paint will go.
yeah, something like that, huh?
Cool. And then I'm just gonna say freestyle. Cool. Yay! Back at the garden.
Yeah.
Where we all love to be.
Garden. Oh man. There. Okay. Iman returns to the group of disciples and finds them all sleeping. Surveys the group with a heartbreaking expression. So the first shot of this scene. So Iman returns to the group of disciples and finds them all sleeping. Is that again like mirroring what we did with the past garden scene, or are we changing it up a bit?
Ooh, that is the question. All right, let me draw my floor plan out again. So we have Javon. Okay, and then Iman would be here. Okay, so that's their setup. Cephas has 2 options. Cephas can either be sleeping sort of in Jovan's area, or she can move back to where Jude was.
How did we end the last scene with?
She ended over on sort of Jovan's side, more in the middle, honestly. But more on Jovan's side, because remember she crossed over, asked him to like ask Iman, and then they had their moment of like, you'll betray me or you'll deny me.
Yeah.
So either works.
Yeah. Well, I like them being kind of separated here, like them not being that close to each other.
I have in the script too that when Cephas wakes up, she sort of notices Jude is gone, but that doesn't make sense because if she went back over there to go to sleep, she would have seen that he was gone. So
yeah,
there's that. Anyways,
which one would make more sense then?
Honestly, either way. I mean, Jude is gone. They heard Iman say, "Go do what you're gonna do," and they're like, "Oh, he's probably doing something." I like Cephas being on the other side.
Okay.
Because then that leads to a nice, because you like that 3 shot. If Jude, here, wait. If Jude and soldiers enter there, then when the soldiers and Iman are gone, we have a perfect setup for your
shot. Yeah. The Avengers shot.
The Avengers shot, yeah. Here's the question. Is there any particular order you were thinking for that shot? Like, who's in the middle?
I would think definitely Jovan's in the middle.
Jovan's in the middle? Okay, then this won't work because Jude is in the middle right now.
Okay. Yeah, I like Jovan in the middle and then the 2 on the other side, just because it shows the 2 extremes and then Jovan being the standard. Yeah.
In that case, we start with this setup with Iman entering and what is it? Does he say anything? No, he doesn't. He enters and then they approach. And as Jude approaches, we have Jovan cross over to Cephas. So Jovan and Cephas are standing together now. Because then with Jovan there, that gets them a little closer to Iman. Because then when Jude and the soldiers enter, and like there's a nice, we can have, so if Jovan leaves, we'll have Jude here and soldiers there. Jude will come take that space where Jovan was. And then that creates the perfect buffer where like Jovan goes to attack the guards, Iman steps in and blocks him. Right? And then we have that exchange there.
Oh, cool.
And then that puts Jovan in the middle, and that leads straight to your Jude on this side, Jovan in the middle, Cephas, and then Iman's gone. Yeah.
Perfect. That works.
Cool. I like that too, because if you put the camera here, when you have that 3 shot, when Jovan leaves, he just plows straight down the middle, like straight at the camera, essentially. Not at the camera, but like however you frame it, like he's coming that direction. So that's kind of fun. And
then it just leaves them two, which is what we want, looking facing each other.
Yeah, and I like that being really wide. I really like, the Avengers shot where like there is space on either side of them, and like a decent amount of space compared to what most people do with that shot. But there's still like almost a head to toe shot.
Yeah, cool. That sounds cool.
Sick. Okay, so I like that blocking of Jovan crosses over and then they enter in. Jovan attacks, which puts him in middle. Cool. So yay, what shots do we want to get with that blocking?
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay. Did we say so? The beginning shot of the scene again? Can you just? What is it gonna be?
I almost think we maybe start the camera. Start the camera here and get a wide of Iman entering with Cephas and Jovan sleeping on the corners.
Yeah.
And then maybe cut to a medium close-up or a close-up of Iman as he like hears the Jude approaching. And then
yeah. Well, I guess the main thing I want to figure out is how do we see these guards and Jude coming?
I feel like they just need to be in like a single, like the 3 of them entering.
A single what?
Like a single medium wide.
Okay.
Like you just kind of see him walk over the.
Wait, so do they enter the same place where Iman enters from?
No, they enter opposite Iman.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, I like that.
So almost like if that's the stage, Iman's at the top there, and he doesn't move until the soldiers lead him away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, I do like the medium close-up then of Iman kind of noticing.
Yeah. Hang on, let me draw that out. Sick. So we have... All right, as they approach. And then I almost think, like, since that's sort of a head-on shot, we almost flip it the other way, and we see Jude and the soldiers coming.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And, like, sort of a wide 3.
And in that shot of the soldiers coming, Jude could be, like, behind the guards, trailing.
Yeah, so like, I was thinking something like that. Where nope.
You can see it.
I'm like, what? There it is. That. Where like the soldiers are sort of in front and Jude is just in the back.
But then, because you know how Jude comes and runs to kiss Iman on the cheek, right? So like in that shot, we can have Jude kind of running either through the guards or past the guards, like kind of towards the camera. And the next shot could be medium wide of Jude giving Iman a kiss on the cheek.
I actually cut that part. I just have it as a bow, like a head nod or something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we can add it back in, but I took it out when we made Jude a guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I like bow because I like how Ivan, like he he can do like an awkward bow type of thing.
Can do an awkward bow, yes. We like that. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we have. I kind of like maybe holding this the wide of the shoulders or the soldiers coming, because it'll turn into a medium as they get closer, and maybe like when they get to a certain spot, we have Jude kind of push between them or around them, and then make his way over to Iman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we have the shot of Jude bowing to Iman.
Yeah. Well. In that case, I think our 180 line is here. Okay. So camera's got to operate over there. That works. I kind of see that as an over the shoulder of Jude approaching.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, wait, we have to get shots of Tweedledee and Tweedledum waking up.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could just cut back to that first wide that we had.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, that top one, and have them just kind of stand up, and then they're like framing Iman essentially.
Yeah.
And then in that shot, we can have Jovan cross over then.
Yeah, let's set it up.
Yeah. Sick. And then we can cut to
Iman saying his line, right?
Yeah. Well, no, there's the whole my lord.
Oh yeah.
That whole bit. Hang on. Cool. Real quick, just because it's almost 5.
Yeah.
What?
For Gabe.
Yes. Are there any notes we should go over before?
Well, we definitely need to tell him what lines we cut for him.
Yeah.
So I have here, well, I think the lines that we cut and the lines that we actually want him to memorize.
Yes. I actually went through and highlighted the ones that we want him to memorize.
Yeah, I have it here too.
Cool. And I went through the rest of it. I don't think there's anything till the end.
I know that we cut out in the garden scene right after the title card. We cut out the like anybody I would like to live a long life.
Yes, I crossed that out as well.
Okay. And then he cuts out saying Cephas on page 3.
Mm-hmm.
So he just says, before the morning gong rings, you will deny me 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay. This line with Iman, am I leading rebellion? You like that? How page 4, bottom.
You come out with swords to capture me. We may need to change that swords word depending on weapons that we actually require.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just change it to weapons.
We could change. Maybe we give them clubs.
Clubs. Well, we haven't figured out. Let's just put weapons.
Bro, you remember Riley, right?
Yeah.
I was like, hey, how do you feel about being one of the guards? You get to beat up one of our characters. He's like, I get a weapon? I was like, yeah.
Okay.
And then longevity has its place. I've been to the mountaintop. My eyes have seen the glory of the Lord. I think that's
I feel like you like that one?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing I would say is maybe instead of the Lord there, maybe just say God, because we have brought up God before. So
we have?
My eyes have seen the glory of God.
Where did we bring up God before?
There's Iman brings him up before. I forget where. Yeah. Page 2. I know my words will bring me danger, but I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will.
Okay. Yep. Change it to God.
Change it to God. Okay. I'll type this up too and send it to everybody. Sick. Okay, where are you taking him? Okay, then we have the still small voice stuff. Cephas and the stuff. Okay, now that's all just probably talk through the isolated path sections.
The isolated path sections, like him getting beat up and stuff?
Yeah. We need to figure out how we're going to shoot that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's ways to do it with close-ups where, like, we don't even need to do anything remotely near a stunt, which is probably preferable, especially because I don't know what kind of terrain we're going to get.
Yeah, especially, like, we don't want anything crazy with the basketball player either.
Yes, that would be ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what all would entail in that, because I think there's 5 sections of it, right, where we cut to it. So Cephas, desert, Jews with the desert. Okay, so yeah, we have the first isolated path on page 6.
Mm-hmm.
They're walking. That's when they first start messing with him. And then we cut to it again on page 7.
Yeah.
As they walk, they start to trip him.
And then again on page 8.
Okay, that maybe you have like a sort of stumble thing happen. Yeah, and then again on page 8. As they walk, the temple's in sight now. Okay, and then page 8 is where he actually falls. So that can be one, maybe like he drops to his knees and then they push him forward, forcing. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't actually fall here. Psych, he falls in the next one, right? Kick him in the side. Yeah, okay, cool. Maybe we cut this fall on page 8 and just. Maybe that's where they actually start using whatever weapon they have. So, like, the first one can be they just start sort of pushing him and, like, he sort of is, like, kind of stumbling, not so much. The second one is where they get a little more forceful and, like, he actually stumbles a little bit. The third one can be maybe they start pulling their weapons and kind of beating up on him. Yeah. And then we cut to...
page 9, right?
Yeah, the gong rings, and they finally shove him forward, and he falls. And I think just, like, a nice close-up of, like, the hand, you know, doing one of those things where, like, the hand's not moving. Because then when he, like, rises again, get an insert of, like, the hand, like, just sort of twitching when Jovan is approaching, and then the flash of light when that happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of a progression. Yeah.
Okay. That works for me.
Cool.
So we'll go over that with him. I really just want to hear him read the beginning monologue, just all of it, just so I can kind of get a feel for what he's thinking of it.
Perfect.
And then I'll just give him some directions, like, well, you're going to say this line kind of walking. We want you to be a little more relaxed.
Yeah.
Nothing too formal.
Perfect.
And that's pretty much it. Just getting to know him.
Perfect. Quick and painless.
Yeah, it should only be like 30 minutes, I think.
Yeah. You have to go at 6, right?
Yeah, 6:15.
Okay. I gotta go at like 6:45-ish, 6:50. Because I have life group. So I feel pretty good about our storyboard so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Tomorrow when me and you go, should we invite our DP?
Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sean.
we can ask him to come along. That would be good. I don't know if he'll be able to, but.
And then if you want, I can invite Saul and Ivan, and what they could do with us is that we could kind of block them.
Oh, we can stage them. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
I'll ask them. Okay. I'll ask them right now, actually.
Cool.
Do you have the Addy for where this place is at?
Yes, I can get it to you.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me find that. Thank you so much for listening to The Disciples' Rude Discussion with the Director. If you want to follow the film, it will be released in early April of 2022. Be sure you follow social media below for any updates on the film's release and all of that fun stuff. And until next time, have a good one.